Okay, so listen, if you mentally choose the harder path, you choose the path that is more difficult, in almost every single scenario, that is going to be the better path. Okay. And here's the problem, when I go to the gym and stuff and I work out, let's say, like lately I've been working out for 2 hours, like 5 days a week. Here's the thing, when I go to the gym, I know that that might not be the best way of building muscle, but I have to mentally decide. I've been trying to mentally decide lately whether I am going to train for difficulty and challenge or train for building muscle, because I like to build muscle, but I also like to train for difficulty and for the challenge. I like training until failure. I don't care about all the other 15-year-olds who are like, oh, I'm going to train almost until failure. I'm going to kind of try. I don't care if you think I'm going to be fatigued or whatever. I don't care. Okay. I train because it's difficult. Okay. I want to train that way. I don't care if you think, oh, this is, you're supposed to train this way to do this, to do that, science-based training. I don't care. Okay. I'm training for the difficulty. I'm not training to be, kind of like, oh, just big. Okay. I'm also trying to train to be, to actually put in the effort. It's a mental exercise. Okay. It's a mental exercise, not just a physical exercise, because I see the pump that I'm getting, but it's a mental exercise. And when I see these people who are saying all this crap, I don't want to hear from them, because I know that I'm mentally stronger than them. And even then, even if it's not the best way to build muscle, I know I'm still physically stronger than them because I put in more effort than them. I'm still physically stronger than them. Okay, it's a simple concept. All right, when I see people in my wrestling who are complaining, they sit on the sidelines and they're like, "Oh, I'm sad because I lost my wrestling match." Really feeling bad. I mean, is there really any reason to feel bad for them? Or for them to feel bad for themselves? Because in this situation, whose fault is it? It's not my fault. It's not their parents' fault. It's not their friend's fault. It's completely their fault. Just like it is me, if I lose my wrestling match, which I have before many times. Okay, I'm not saying I haven't lost a wrestling match. It's completely my fault. It's no one else's fault. It is completely my fault. I mentally know that when I lose my wrestling match, I get extremely pissed off because I know that I lost it. It's completely my fault and I should have put in more effort. That is my mindset. Okay, so when see people sitting around on the sidelines, whining, being like, "Well, I lost my wrestling match." It's your fault. It's your fault that you didn't put in the effort in the conditioning. It's your fault that you didn't put in the effort into learning the technique and learning the new styles and stuff. It's completely your fault. Okay, it's no one else's fault. It's the same thing with me. Okay, if I lose my wrestling match, it's my fault because of those exact same reasons. It's no one else's fault. And it's the same thing in life. Okay, if you set a goal at the start of last year to go to get a Lamborghini Huracan, okay, that was your goal. Your goal is to get a Lamborghini Huracan. Okay, and by the end or right now, you still don't have a Lamborghini Huracan. Whose fault is that? It's not my fault. Again, it's not your parents' fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's completely your fault. I don't care if your friends are doing average activities, because you can choose to invite them to the gym, invite them to do non-average activities, non-brokey activities. Because when I see people who are just putting in half the effort, you can change your friends, so you don't have to just change yourself. Okay, but here's the problem: if the person that you are hanging around is still not listening, you invite them to go to the gym, you invite them to go put in the effort with you. If they are still not doing stuff, they are completely average and they are doomed. They are completely average. There's no other way to say it. Okay, they are going to stay average for the rest of their lives. Okay, and it might sound sad, it might sound depressing, but that's just the truth. Okay, if you want to level up, there's a reason why there's 20 seats on a bus and 2 seats on a freaking Lamborghini Huracan. There's a reason for that. Okay, it's not random. Okay, so you have to filter out these people who are not going to help you, unless they actually listen to you and go to the gym with you, or do this hard work with you, because then they're actually willing to. Okay, they just haven't decided to take action yet. Okay, but here's the thing: you have to take action on this yourself before anybody else takes action. If you don't, then nothing's going to change. So nothing changes if nothing changes. And I don't feel bad for the people who don't take action, because nothing ends up changing as a result of them not taking action. So it's a very simple concept. Honestly, all this stuff, all these things that I say in all these videos that I've done, it's very easy stuff. It might sound complicated, but it's not really complicated. I think the problem is that people get complicated mixed up with hard, and there's a difference. Okay, difficult things aren't necessarily complicated. Okay, when I go to the gym, it's not that it's not that hard, or it's not that complicated to get a hard workout in. Okay, it's hard, but it's not complicated. Okay, it's not complicated to achieve your goals. Okay, there's plenty of dumb people out there who have made a lot of money, and a lot of people don't realize this. So when you look at the stupid people and you're like, man, how did they make a lot of money? It doesn't take being smart. Okay, it takes being consistent, putting in the effort, and knowing what you're working towards. Okay, because once you know that, then you know, and you have the inspiration and the mental idea and the image of what you want to achieve. So if you're complaining right now about, oh, I haven't achieved my goals, again, I don't feel bad for you. I don't give a shit because you know what? It's completely your fault. Okay, and I don't give a shit if my mind tries to make me complain. I completely shut that down. Okay, because I can't handle the idea of that. Complaining is never going to help me get anywhere. Crying, sitting and crying all day about, oh, this is a difficult life, this is hard. Get me away from those people. Okay, I don't want to be near those people. Those people are never going to help me. Okay, and they're never going to help themselves either, which is why they're in a bad position. So they end up whining and crying all day, and as a result, it ends up bringing them down permanently. I don't want to be that way because that is the quitter's mindset. Okay, quitters, no one can help them. Okay, I can't help them. Their parents can't help them. Not even God can help them because a quitter isn't willing to put in the effort. Okay, God cares about if you put in the effort every single day, if you actually try. Okay, towards putting in the effort and putting in the consistency and putting in the grind. Okay, because if you sit around and be lazy all day, do you think your parents are going to be proud of you? No. Okay, same thing with God. Okay, I'm sorry, you have to put in the effort. This is a simple concept. So if you aren't putting the effort and you're complaining and you're whining and you're saying all these things, if people tell you stuff to try and bring you down, use that as motivation. Use that as fuel to work towards your goals. So that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I thank you guys so much for the support. Other than that, that's about it. Thanks for watching.